What is up, car addicts? In this video, we'll be talking about this week's Triple Money Event Week as well as the property and vehicle discounts. This event week is for May 5th through May 11th, 2022. So firstly, the bookmark jobs not showing up and playlists are still broken. Again, this is only a next-gen issue and it is yet to be fixed at the time of this recording. At this point, we're guessing that it might take a downloadable update to fix this, and we're not sure how long or how soon that will happen. I guess we'll see. It's Rockstar after all. In terms of changes for this week, for next-gen players, the HSW upgrade for the Brioso RA is now available for everyone. So for those of you who don't own one, it was only available to GTA Plus members for the first week. And if you didn't know, the HSW upgrade for it is just under $1.1 million, so very expensive for sure. Plus the actual individual HSW upgrades on top of that, you're going to have like a $1.5 million compact car, kind of insane. And if you didn't already know, it is the new fastest compact car in the class with the HSW upgrade, so if you want to be the fastest in that particular race class, you're going to have to buy this one. But keep in mind that the club still is decently competitive depending on the track. But anyways, the current prize right for this week is the Italy GTB, which is very surprising. This car is primarily based on the McLaren 570S mixed with the Tryon Nemesis. It has a normal price of just under $1.2 million. But anyways, to get this car for free, you have to place top 1, meaning first place in a street series race for 5 days in a row. That is absolutely ridiculous. First place and 5 days in a row, really, Rockstar? You guys know how I feel about those day in a row requirements. I'm not a fan because not everyone can make that 5 day in a row dedication for 5 days out of their week. I think it's a bit ridiculous, especially considering how old this car is. It's not like if it's something relatively new. Now in terms of performance, the Italy GTB is around 30th place in the supercar class, around the pace of the FMJ and the Turismo R. It's a pretty average performing supercar. In terms of the test ride vehicles for this week, we have the Reaper, the Adder, and the regular Infernus. Very random choices there. And for next-gen console players, we have the Brioso RA as the HSW test ride car for this week. Now in terms of the casino podium vehicle, we have the Comet Safari. This car is primarily based on a custom Safari 911. It has a normal price of about $700,000, which is pretty expensive, but definitely not $1 million car like we're used to seeing from the podium. Now in terms of performance, this car is in the sports car class and doesn't really perform that well, being around the pace of the Buffalo S and the Omnis. It's intended more for off-road rally style tracks, and it does perform pretty decently well in those, but nowhere near the pace of the top rally cars like the SE Sport and the Flash GT. So starting off with the property discounts, we have 30% off the nightclubs, as well as the storage and garage space upgrades for it. Next up, we have 40% off the Avenger, one of the coolest aircrafts in the game to own because of how well it does everything. Moving on to vehicle discounts, we have 30% off the Progen GP1. So this is a very cool supercar in terms of styling, with insanely good detail both in the interior, the engine bay, and the outside, and good customization on top of that. It basically checks all the boxes except for performance, where it's not that great, being around the pace of some of the OG top performing supercars in terms of lap time, like the Cheetah and the Infernus. But again, overall, it's a great car, and I think it's one that everyone should own, especially if you're a fan of the McLaren F1. Next up, we have 40% off the regular Comet. Now this is not really an expensive car to begin with at only $100,000, but once we get to the Benny's website, you're going to understand why it's on sale. Moving on to the San Andreas website, we have 40% off the RC Bandito. Now, a lot of you guys ask me quite often if the RC Bandito is worth it, and I always say the same thing. Wait till it's on sale. If you can get it on sale, it's definitely worth its price tag, but its regular price tag to me is still a bit too high. So here's your chance, guys. Make sure to pick one up this week if you don't own one already. I personally think it's a great investment. Next up, we have 50% off the Festival Bus. Keep in mind that this is a Pegasus vehicle and doesn't really have all that much use unless you want to just blast music to other players around you, even though a lot of players have music turned off anyways, but yeah, there you go. Moving on to the Warstock website, we have 30% off the Laser Jet. So this one is obviously the jet for the military base that you can own as a personal aircraft by bringing the Pegasus version into your hangar. And other than painting it and spawning it close to you, there's really no other benefit to owning this. Personally, I think it's a waste of money, especially if you already own a hangar at the military base. Just steal one from there to fly around. Next up, we have 40% off the Night Shark, one of my favorite armored vehicles in game because it has similar armor resistance to the Insurgent. It's a lot quicker, plus it has a tow hitch, and its map icon is a normal vehicle, so you can catch a lot of players off guard. I highly recommend getting this one, guys, if you don't own it already. Moving on to the Benny's website, so as we saw earlier, the regular Comet on sale. However, the Retro Custom Benny's upgrade for it is 40% off this week, which is awesome, bringing that custom conversion cost down to only $387,000, making the Comet Retro Custom definitely well worth it this week. In terms of free items this week, you can get the Mexico parachute bag for free just for logging in this week, which is pretty cool. And all drinks at bars are free this week as well. I assume both of these are to celebrate Cinco de Mayo, so GG Rockstar is actually a pretty creative way to reference that. And I think the Festival Bus also kind of ties into that a bit. Pretty cool. In terms of clothing items, the pink wireframe and green wireframe bodysuits are part of Business Battle event cargo this week, which is pretty cool. In terms of triple money, we have triple money NRP on business battles. In terms of double money, we have double money NRP on contact missions from Ron, double money NRP on RC Bandito races, and double money NRP on the RC Bandito time trial. So definitely a great week to invest in the RC Bandito and get most of your money back. Moving on to the Prime Gaming discounts for Prime Gaming members only. So again, same as the last few months. The only thing we have is the usual free $100,000 for logging in during the event week period. And lastly, this week's RC Bandito time trial, paying out double money for this week, is Cemetery. This week's normal time trial is Casino. I highly recommend a quick motorcycle, supercar, or one of the HSW vehicles if you're on next gen. In terms of the premium race for this week, we have the supercar race Senora Freeway. I highly recommend RV Devest 8, Emirates, or Krieger for this race, or the HSW Devest 8 if you're on next gen. And lastly, for next gen console users, the HSW time trial for this week is North Chumash. And as always, the HSW Hakachu Drag will be the best one for these. Every Friday I post a guide on how to easily beat the time trials and premium race, so stay tuned for that if you're new. In terms of my vehicle discount pick of the week, I'm going to have to go with the Night Shark. For this price, I think it's an absolute steal for such a capable vehicle that can do multiple things. Anyways guys, hope this was helpful. Overall, this event week is pretty decent, not the best, but I do think we have a pretty decent variety in terms of discounts. However, the double money is definitely lacking a bit this week. I'd say it's an average event week overall. Anyways guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.